Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Margo. This is Tuesday, December 6th, 2016, and I'm going to take a break from the Essene messages for today and maybe the next show I do as well. I want to talk to everyone today about the different kinds of healing. Lots of people think of healing just on a physical level. When they say, oh, I need to be healed, they go to the doctor. They call up, a psychic or energetic healer or whatever, healing for most of them. They think, oh, if I can just be healed of this condition, I'd be fixed of this condition, then I'll be okay. But there are lots of different kinds of healing, and physical is only one of them. And it's one area that needs to be addressed, but there are other areas too. There's emotional healing, and there's spiritual healing, and energetic healing, and they all play in together. They all have their own role, and they all play in together. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. And if anyone's listening and would like to call in and ask a question or to discuss different types of healing, the call-in number is 845-262-0773. So let's get started here today. Regarding physical healing, there are different kinds of physical healing, and most people go to regular medical doctors, part of the allopathic system, and that system basically treats the symptom, and it does not get to the cause of the disease or the condition. And a lot of people who work with energy healing and work in alternative medicine know that we are energetic beings, and we need a more holistic approach than to just work on one area. And so where we've gone astray in the Western world and with allopathic medicine is that the doctors, when they go to med school and they come out, they're taught to treat a symptom and to get rid of the symptom, but not to find the cause of the symptom and be able to eradicate that or heal that. And so they will prescribe pills. They'll prescribe, they'll cut, if you have cancer, their big thing is to cut it out and then have you go through chemo and radiation to kill the cancer. But a lot of people don't make it through the treatment because the treatment is so harsh and it's not natural. And in the Essene teachings that I read, the Gospel of Peace, Book 1, and all of that, it talks about how we were created here in a symbiotic relationship with Mother Earth, and that we can heal of pretty much any condition if we take the poisons out of our system and give ourselves a chance to heal and be in harmony with nature and with Mother Earth. And the problem is with that, though, nowadays, and I mentioned that in one of the shows on the Essenes, is that our environment is so polluted. The water is polluted, the air is polluted, we've got chemtrails, we've got nanobots, they're everywhere. We've got GMOs, we've got Fukushima radiation, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got all kinds of stuff that's really damaging Mother Earth and damaging the environment to the point where nothing we get is pure. And so even to go on a natural diet and to eat organic, say you're going to eat organic food, even that is not totally pure because it's exposed to the air, the elements, the water, but at least it's less toxic than the other stuff out there, and supposedly it's not GMO'd. So I still eat organic just simply for that reason that I figure it's less toxic. It's not supposed to have chemicals on it or, put in it. It's not supposed to be GMO'd. So, so whenever I take in organic food, then my body has a lighter load as far as toxins to throw off. And if you do have a compromised immune system or you have some kind of dis-ease in your body or out of balance somehow, then you want as few toxins as possible coming into your body. But back to the Western doctors, they're not taught a holistic approach. And then you've got alternative medicine, and there's a whole range of all different kinds of alternative practices, and energetic healing falls in the middle of that. Then you've got emotional healing, and the emotions are really strong, and it's really important that we heal up from traumas that we've had, from bad relationships, from problems that we had with our parents or our siblings growing up, or, relationships we've had even as adults, failed marriages, all kinds of things, friendships, because these emotional traumas can stay embedded in our energy body and embedded in the physical body, because the physical body has memory. Your muscles have memory, and they are hooked into the subconscious, which is hooked into your soul memory and the unconscious mind, and so everything you experience is stored. It is stored. But these emotional traumas can be dealt with, they can be healed, but they will leave energetic imprints in your energy body if they're not dealt with, and they can actually crystallize and cause your body to go into an unbalanced state and cause disease to happen. So I see that a lot in my work when I'm working with people, removing implants and helping them heal up. A lot of the session can be spent around working on emotional issues. If you just got out of an abusive relationship, that's going to leave a lot of leftover stuff. It can leave a lot of damage energetically. And it's not just physical abuse. In fact, verbal and emotional abuse is just as harmful, and some therapists think that it's even more harmful than physical abuse, because at least with physical abuse, you can see, the end result of the abuse. You'll get bruises, you might get cut, you might get fractures, you might get injuries, and other people can see that and they say, wow, you really got beat up. That was awful, But if it's emotional or verbal abuse, those wounds are on the inside, and we can't see those, but you can sure feel them, and you can sure feel the effects of them. And so it's important that you heal those up too. And then there's spiritual healing, and this, I don't think people talk about this very much. And in thinking about it, we have a lot of different belief systems out there, and a lot of different religions, different denominations of religions, different ways of thinking, different philosophies, all of these things, but they all have a limitation. If someone else is guiding it, they all have a limitation because we are human. We're all human. The only way to not have limitation with your belief system is to let go of your boundaries with it, and to let go of preconceived notions, to let go of dogma, to let go of ritual, to let go of things that may not be correct, may have been taught to us just because someone else believed them, and then you believe them because someone else believed them. But in spiritual work, you have your own experiences. And so you have to get out of the way of all your old beliefs and old dogma. And I call it the belief reality cap. And when I'm working with clients, I take that off. And, amazing things happen once that comes off, because they're open and they're not blocked in energetically. They're not blocked in and limited by their beliefs, their preconceived notions, and they can be opened to more creativity and more guidance into infinite consciousness in the mind of God. And I help them, work on that. And then once you get to that point, then, a lot of healing can happen. And I know a lot of people, pray and are healed with prayer, and that goes as far as your belief goes. And some people are not healed with prayer. And why is that? It's hard to know. It's hard to know why. One person is healed, with prayer, and another person isn't. It could be they need to work on some other things in order to be ready to let go of that disease, or to be ready to let go of that condition. Or maybe the body is past the point of really healing. I think the body can get past the point of really healing. Although there are miracles, and definitely Jesus performed miracles, but, it all goes into your own belief system, too. And there are cases of people who have been healed with prayer, and then with their own doubt and their own uncertainty, the healing goes away. And I know when I work with people, amazing things happen in the sessions. I get them cleared up energetically and get implants out, and sometimes lifelong conditions symptoms of lifelong conditions can just go away, but then the person has to do their own work and keep up their own vigilant work with that in order to keep in a higher frequency and a higher balance, so that the condition does not reestablish itself. And unless you change your behaviors and your thoughts, and could be a whole lifestyle you need to change, the healing might not hold. It might not hold. And in fact, I remember I was at one hypnosis conference, and I was in a seminar, and they were talking about healing with hypnosis healing cancer. And the hypnotist giving the seminar was saying, the person has to be ready to let go of whatever beliefs they're holding in themselves that's causing the cancer. And unless they're ready to let go of that, they won't be healed, no matter what you do. No matter how many times they're hypnotized or how many implants come out, is what I'm saying, or what happens. And the hypnotist conducting the class was saying that she had a client who came in with breast cancer, and she had a lot of anger with her husband. And anyway, they got to the root cause of the breast cancer. It had to do with the anger and the relationship. And what it came down to was, in order for her to heal, she was going to have to move out and end that relationship with her husband, because she had so much suppressed anger around it. And the hypnotist asked the woman, "Are you willing to do that?" She said no. She said, "No, I'm not. This is what I know, and this is what I want." And so she said, "I can't help you." So, everybody makes their choices, and life is about choices. And we don't need to be trapped. We don't need to be trapped in old ways of thinking, and we don't need to be trapped in old ways of doing things. When you have an illness or a condition that pops up, it shows that you need to give attention to that. It doesn't mean it's a death sentence, and it doesn't mean you need prescription medication necessarily. Mind you, this talk does not take the place of going to your medical doctor and having condition checked out. But everybody has their own choice of how they're going to deal with their condition or their illness or situation. And I think that in allopathic medicine, people are not given the choice enough. And a lot of time doctors feel like, well, they know best. They know best. They know better than the patient, And, well, that's how they're taught. And so just know that you have a right to your own treatment. You have a right to refuse treatment. You have a right to try alternative treatment. And you have a right to stop treatment anytime with anyone. And, you have to find your own answers and what's right for you. And sometimes physical healing is not what's meant to happen. Sometimes it's emotional healing. Sometimes especially with someone who has a terminal illness, then the focus is on, let's look at some emotional healing and some tying up some loose ends here on earth and getting ready to move on into the higher realms. If everybody had a week left to live, how would you spend that week? What would you do? Or let's say you had a month left. If you knew you had a month left to live, how would you spend that month? Would you want to, be cut open and then be trying to recuperate from surgery if you know you're going to die anyway? Would you bother going through chemo and radiation if you knew you were going to die anyway? Would you continue being abused? Would you continue just doing the same thing that you've been doing all your life? How would you spend your life? Would you look at it with dignity and integrity and say, what's it going to be like when I'm not here anymore? What is it like on the other side? Would you want to learn about that? Would you want to learn about if there is a God, and if there is, how to connect with God? And if Jesus was real, and I believe he was, I believe he lived, how can you make that connection before it's time to go? So I just want to leave y'all with those thoughts today and know that there are different kinds of healing. And a lot of times when you have emotional healing and spiritual healing, the physical body will heal. There have been cases where there have been terminally ill cancer patients who, once they just start praying and give up, they go into remission. So you never know. You never know. And you don't know how long you have here. And you don't know what you're supposed to do. And I say we all need to be here and love each other and be here for each other emotionally as much as we can for however long we have, whether it's weeks or months or years, and pray for world peace, pray for clarity of mind, and pray for healing of everybody, especially at this time, Christmas coming up, when we're supposed to be focused on Christ and Christ's messages rather than so much on, running around buying gifts and all of that. But Christ's message was that of love and peace and living in harmony. And so that's my message to you today. If you can think of these things and think about how you would heal those damaged relationships, and even if your loved one has passed on, you can still heal that relationship. You can do it on your end and not feel like you've got some loose ends left. So that's my show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Margo. My website is margoshealingcorner.com. I have a YouTube channel at Margo's Healing Corner. I'm a hypnotist, holistic life coach, and spiritual healer. And I do all kinds of hypnosis for all different kinds of things. I also do implant removal, energetic healing. I'm empathic in my work, so I work a little bit differently than other practitioners. So if you would like to work with me, check me out on my website, margoshealingcorner.com. I offer a free screening session for us to see if we would like to work together. And I would look forward to hearing from you. And I also have an email list If you would like to join that, just go to my website and click on Join the Mailing List. So, take care. I hope everyone has a safe day and safe experience. And go in peace and love. And just remember that we are much more than these physical bodies. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience here. And the most important is getting back to our spiritual roots. So thank you for listening. And until next time, God bless and Godspeed. And goodbye.